Welcome back to Skipping Class with Jesus Peace himself, Ian Taylor, and my boy Kelvin Dooley. My name is Jasmine Jeffrey. We're going to jump right into it. All right, you guys. I want to bring up the beast himself, Tayvaunn Prince. How do you guys feel about him killing the game? I mean, this man is literally going crazy. Ian?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely the best player on the team. I don't think you can argue that. For what he brings to the table, there's a number of things. Just looking up statistics, they just blow you away. I mean, he's leading the conference in field goal percentage, scoring, rebounds, all the stuff that he did last year, but he's just doing it even more this year, especially with a team, like we've discussed, that was struggling for a little bit here through this transition period. He's just been the stamp of approval, you know. This guy is the real deal, and if their success continues to go to a place where it looks like it could and it feels like it should, this guy's going to be the reason that this team gets to the promised land.
Yeah, I mean, look, I talked to him earlier this week. This is a position he wants to be in. You know, he knows he's the best player when he steps out on the court, and he shows it with his numbers. Bigger than Tayvaunn Prince, he's the leader of that team, and he's leading them quite well. Not just statistically, but just in the locker room. You know, when there is a problem, he's the guy to go to. You know, from the coaches and from his teammates. But I think the bigger picture here is they have that leader, and right now during the lineup changes, which is not really a big problem, but they felt it was needed. He was one of the guys the coach went to say, I mean, what would you like to see? You know, how could we improve this team? How could we get them better? Get this this ball rolling. They brought up 3 straight victories. You know, after the lineup changes, he's been in the forefront of that with his big numbers. And if he keep this up, I mean, why not? How come they can't repeat as conference champions? You know, it was a great mid-season move to switch up the lineups. They're 3-0. They faced 3 solid teams. You know, there's no weak teams in this conference, but they faced 3 solid teams. They return home on Thursday, and I assume they want to keep this ball rolling. You know, keep this winning streak going. So and they're sitting 3rd in conference right now. So he's big time. He's certified. You know, he's a great player, and I hope he continues to lead them and keeps putting up big numbers. So
yeah,
absolutely. Hey, I want to let you guys know that this is a big deal for Robert Korn. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to him for leading these previous teams and, you know, obviously inducting these new players. So congratulations to Robert Korn. I also want to jump into another topic. I want you guys to tell me about Eric and Kiprop racing against the clock. I heard these dudes is like crazy fast.
Yeah. You know, Kiprop, he's a great story. I got to do a feature story over him, and he's a great kid. He's only a freshman. You know, he's still a baby in those terms, in that sense.
Just a small boy.
Just a small boy, but he's killing it right now. I mean, you know, in the track and field, I guess, as basketball has their star, it's great that see Shotty and Fabra with their star, with the track and field star, and he's that guy. He routed off a 5K victory in the track and field at the MSSU Open this past weekend. And, I mean, there's nothing really much you can say about him. Probably he's the best Division II athlete, or not athlete, I'm sorry, runner in Division II. And I expect more big things. I assume he will continue to murder it in the 5Ks and in the other races he decides to compete in indoor. I know they're keeping a watchful eye on him because he did end the original cross-country course hampering an injury. So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, he's a great athlete, and I mean, I wish him the best. Him and Shotty, Eric Schott, another great cross-country athlete. They're doing big things. They feed off each other, you know, in their best buzz. So why not? You know, take it all, win every race they can, win them all. And I think they have the capability of doing that, finishing 1-2 or 2-1, vice versa. They can do it both. So they're big time.
Yeah, I mean, from going to the meets that I've been to through the whole time that I've been at Southern, you just see this team, both men and women, just build on what they're doing and then feed off of each other's energy. And I think that's something that speaks volumes about what these guys mean to one another. You know, just getting the crowd into it, getting the other guys on the team into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see people like Jace and people from both sides, especially the pole vaulters. I don't know why, but I feel like the pole vaulters are the people that are always out there getting everybody hyped, getting the clap going, getting the slow clap running. So, I mean, it's just amazing to see, and it's something like we've talked about that just every single year there's so much consistency with what these people bring to the table, what they do for the university, and how influential they are in this conference. You know, when you can have that legitimacy behind your name, then you're going to put a good product on the track every single semester, every single season, because you're getting the best of what the world honestly has to offer when you look at where Kiprop's came from.
Yeah,
So.
and to feed off what you said, I remember reporting last week that there were a little tension last year, ending last year's indoor and outdoor track season amongst the ladies and coach. But it speaks to Vavrinch and Coach Brian, how they can recruit talent. You know, they bring in great athletes and they're consistently good. They are not, and allow me not to disrespect the other stars and athletes they have on the track team. They have a wide array of great talent. So Kiprop, in my opinion, is in the forefront. He is a winner. He wins. So, but yeah, they recruit great talent. They bring it in, and they're going to do this long after we're here. So,
yeah, and the fact is that they can get this talent to bring back in, and to do it in a way that they replace those people that don't fit on their team, that they don't want there. Because if you don't come in and you're not willing to work like we want you to work, if you're not willing to win like we want you to win,
right,
then we're going to make you win, because we're the people that put you in that position. Then we don't need you on our team. We don't need that drama. Get that out of here. So
they're easily replaced, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Emily Presley. Another freshman who's come right in right away and right off records and victories. So, yeah.
People are talented.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
All right,
To be alive.
So you guys, baseball is starting up this week against, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm wrong because I cannot pronounce this,
Bemidji
State. What does the first few games mean to this team?
Well, preseason favorites in the coaches poll in my AA, they're expected to win it all in this conference. The first few games are important. They want to get up on the right foot. They want to come out and they want to smash these non-conference opponents. Send a message throughout the MIAA that the coaches, they weren't lying. They recognize talent. We are the defending champs in this conference. Come out and make a statement early. I think they can do it. I'm not for sure how good Benjimi, if I pronounced that right. I don't know how good they are, but regardless, I don't think they can stand toe-to-toe with the Lions, and just make it easy for themselves. Don't put too much pressure on this season. Don't allow the rankings and all the polls affect them. Come out and play baseball like they're expected to do, and win ball games. They have the talent in position. They have Coach Darnell in position, who's a great coach. Do your job. Come out and win ball games. That's the expectation.
Yeah, the expectations are high. My argument would be almost to the contrary, that the beginning of this season isn't as important as where it will end up being. Baseball is a battle of longevity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long season that these boys have to put in, a lot of travel, a lot of practicing. It really is a time-consuming sport, more than people really give it credit for. Speaking with Cuss and other coaches on the team, and they kind of paint that picture pretty vividly, so you really understand the work that these dudes put in. So at the beginning of the season, it's understandable that you might be moderately rusty. But the point that is the key is that this is a long season, and they've got leadership both from the coaching staff and from players that are on this team that were here last year. Jesse Rawls, Chris Hoffman, a guy like Peyton Walker, who's been here all 4 years and is now the dude on this pitching staff. The guy they brought in last year, Hutchinson, who played really well. So yes, getting off to a good start is important, but when you're this good of a team, when you're this quality of a unit, you don't have to worry about that, because you know that you are going to be there at the end of the day. So take everything with a grain of salt, because you're going to win ball games, and just know that.
Yeah, and they get the first 9 games at home at Warren Turner. Come out and win all those games. Like I said, get up on the right foot. And to your point, this is a really good team. Again, this is their expectation when these ball games. Just want to go out there and win. This is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys come out and check our baseball team,
Please,
because
please.
This weekend.
We're gonna be there. You should be there, or you should be square. I don't know which one you want to choose, but you can pick. So to move on to community topics, how do you guys feel about football athletes retiring early?
It's a weird debate, you look at these guys, and there's so much opportunity, so much money to be made, so much fame to be had, all these elements that go into building a lifestyle, the dream lifestyle of the United States of America, what has been created as the new American dream, if you will. So it's just kind of a shock to the system when you see people in that position to live out this dream, so to speak, give it all away. And not necessarily, I don't know, you see that in a number of facets, people that want to retire early, not necessarily giving it away. You've lived it. but just earlier than most people would expect. And then you see people like Manziel that are just struggling through life, you know, in a reality of things, really truly giving it away. People like Alvin Smith doing the same thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a shock. It really is a shock to me. But when you look at the players that are doing it, you almost have to kind of understand it to a point, especially the relevance of what we're talking about now. We got Megatron and possibly Marshawn Lynch kind of talking about doing the same thing. And Lynch has been in the league, been doing it, and he's been doing it at a high level for so long that it's shocking to hear a guy like that say that he doesn't want it anymore. But when you put into account all the hits that dude's taken, and same with Megatron, you know, being that tall, getting just slammed and slammed and slammed and slammed and slammed, you know, I don't know that I will want to take that many hits to my body. And I think the true point to be made here is that people now, these athletes now, are focusing more on after football. When before, football was life. That's the reason that these men and women, you know, participated in the sports that they did, you know, specifically men in football, obviously, but like this was what they identified with. This was their existence. This is what they were here for. When now people play football because football gets you money, you know, and you might love football, but what do you love? You love what football gives you. You don't love football. So I think that's the true thing that we're getting from all of this, is that maybe the whole reasoning behind the main athlete playing what they do now has kind of switched from the love of that to the love of what it gives you.
And I agree. You know what? Barry Sanders retired, and it was almost unprecedented, at least during that time of football, to see guys that talented and that young retired at 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
To see guys that, I mean, it's just unprecedented in that time of football. Guys were so tough. Guys with broken arms and fingers just had to be out there on the football field. Football has evolutionized. This is a different time right now. Marshawn Lynch, Calvin Johnson, you know, wide receiver is a physically demanding sport, especially when you're 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
You know, guys can't hit you up here anymore. Well, they can. I mean, that's the standard now. Proper tackling up front. But I mean, the legs are an easy target for a guy like Calvin Johnson. A lot of ankle, a lot of hamstring, feet injuries. Marshawn Lynch, running backs of that nature, who will rather hit you than, you know, get out of bounds or hit the ground. They don't last long in the NFL. They just don't. And I mean, it's tough being a running back like that. I mean, again, they want to dish out punishment. They want, and you can't. I don't think that can last. I don't think you can sustain that type of running for 10, 11, 12 seasons as a running back anymore. And it's just tough. It's sad to see. You know, we have great talent, and there's such a. There's so much talent at the wide receiver position, and it's just hard. It's sad to see, honestly. And you know what? For the Lions, this would be the second time they lose a supreme elite talent. You know, and I mean, I don't know. It'd be, I don't know. It's hard to grasp a little bit. It's just kind of hard to grasp.
It begs the question: what's wrong with Detroit?
What's wrong with Detroit? A lot.
Why,
a lot.
Detroit?
Why? A lot.
We're not going to talk about that. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Warriors versus the Oklahoma Thunders. Who do you guys, or how do you guys feel about that game that they just played?
Me, well, it was a great game last night. This was a big game for Oklahoma last night. This was a game. They're the team that's been overlooked. Honestly, in truest opinions, I think they can compete for an NBA title. I think they can beat Golden State and San Antonio. In 7, that's yet to be proven. I think they're a few pieces away, if not just a few adjustments within the team away. Last night was a great game. Last night the Thunder they gave themselves the opportunity to win. They did. They held Curry only to 26 points on 26 shots. You can live with that, you know, for the 4 times they face each other. You can live with that. That's the opportunity you want to create to give your team a chance to win. Durant had 40 and 14. And that's big time numbers. You expect that from him.
What else does he have to do?
And the Thunder, again, they presented opportunities and they couldn't close the door. I mean, the Thunder, the Warriors, I mean, that's a great team over there. I mean, they can beat you in a facet of ways, a multitude of ways. Again, Curry wasn't on, but guys like Maurice Spates came in, stepped up big time. Harrison, what's his first name? The forward, the wingman.
Harrison Barnes?
Harrison Barnes, yeah. He stepped up big time. Iguodala, I mean, he's kind of over the hill, but he still remains one of the top on-ball defenders. I mean, if you're Iggy, you can live with Kevin Durant getting 40, because you know he can drop 60 maybe on another given night. So you can live with that. You still want to do your job, do your part of the game. And the Warriors, I mean, they were just too much to handle. Just too much to handle. Curry adapted the closer role. You know, he didn't, again, he only put up 26 points on 26 shots. You can live with that if the Thunder. He adapted the closer role. He made big passes and big plays towards the end of the game. And that's Warrior basketball. They made adjustments for every adjustment Oklahoma City had. You know, Oklahoma City, during that game, they remained big. You know, they played big. You don't see a lot of teams try to stick to the big man way, the big lineup against the Warriors because they play so small. They got Green at the 5 sometimes. So Cantor played well. With the Thunder, I think they're a piece away. If they're not a piece, a couple adjustments within the team. And I think Donovan can do that. And offensively, they can put up points. They can score with anybody, with Durant and Westbrook, you know, 2 of the top 5 players in this league. So
don't forget Carmelo. You can't forget Carmelo.
He's over Carmelo. He's like that. He's like that. He's like that. But I'll let Phil Jackson handle that. I'll let Phil handle that.
Okay.
But,
Porzingis. Don't forget about my man Porzingis.
I like Porzingis. But that was a great game last night, and I expect to see more. The second half of the league, the schedule it's loaded with great games. So we will see those teams match up 3 more times, and it should be fun. That first one was in Oracle, so I can't wait till they go to Oklahoma City for the second matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you said pretty much everything you could say. The reality of things is, to me, is that Golden State just continues to show the evolution of the athlete. As far as where we've gone from the prototypical postman, this man, that man, to now athletes. As human beings, we've gotten to a place to where anyone can play anything because we're just supremely better than what we were before. The Golden State Warriors embody that like nothing else possibly could. I mean, they don't do anything as a team like any team has ever done before. They do everything their own way, and they do everything perfectly. You know, these men pass the ball perfectly. They shoot the ball better than anyone ever has. They rebound better with smaller people on the court. They just make people look confused. They make them look tired. So, I mean, it's difficult to foresee a way that these teams can get beat when they have so many different options. But like you said, I mean, you look at Oklahoma City and what they bring to the table. I mean, they're a tremendous out too, you know. So the reality is it's going to be a great series of playoffs again this year, you know. And then you've got the Eastern Conference where you're probably looking at LeBron and the Cavs stumbling their way to the finals again. So it's going to be exciting. You know, San Antonio brings a lot to the table. Kawhi Leonard has really just surprised the heck out of me and shown that he's really a perennial MVP candidate now. When, you know, a couple of years ago, I thought it was kind of a joke that everybody was on his bandwagon. So, touche Kawhi, but yeah,
and
the Warriors are a great team.
I think they don't have that bench. They don't have that rotation. They're not deep enough to compete with the Warriors in 7. Kyle Singler, Deion Waiters, DJ Augustine, who I would like to see play over the Kid Payne. You know, I don't know much about him, but I mean, he has had his bright moments this season. I don't think they're deep enough. I don't think they're San Antonio deep. I don't think they're Oklahoma City, Golden State deep. I don't think they're Cleveland deep. You know what I'm saying? So they can't compete. They have 2 of the top 5 players in this league. They're going to compete. They can put up points, you know, just like the Warriors, just as flashy and as quick and as fun as the Warriors. So, and defensively, they are solid. They proved that last night. The Warriors will put up points, but Oklahoma City is a solid defensive team. They weren't good enough, just like a lot of teams have been this season. When it comes to seeing the Warriors. So, I mean, they had a few kinks to work out. Again, they're in the Western Conference, so it's tough for them. But they got it. They can do it. I think they can do it. They were my choice to go to the NBA Finals. I think they will knock out the Warriors eventually, come the most important time of the season. So, they're a few tweaks away, just a few.
All right, fellas, I have one last question for you. The $1 million question is going to see Tayvaunn Prince of the Lions worth skipping class for?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, this is literally the best player in the MIAA playing right here at our university, at our school, in our house. So yes, when you get an opportunity, go and check this dude out. Let him show you what he can do on a basketball court, because I mean, it's fantastic. Shout out, killing it.
Yeah.
I agree. He's the best player in the MIAA. Again, he's the leader of his team. He's the go-to guy. I mean, what more can we say? I mean, again, hopefully they continue this patch of winning. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They come home, like I said, go to Robert Corn Court, watch this kid play. He's big time, and he's surrounded by a good complement of players. You know, they do have to up their game up another level if they want to, you know, repeat as conference champions. But I think they're capable of doing it. You know, Coach Bosch has made great adjustments, and again, they're winning right now, and winning solves all problems. So with him at the forefront, putting up, you know, 30-point games, his 8th this year, getting to the free throw line, they can do it. You know, he's a big-time player. So yeah, this is the closest thing. He's the best player in the conference. You know, this is the closest thing to a star that we have. So yeah, go watch him play.
All right, you guys.
He's a big guy. He's strong too. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna dab for everybody. So on the count of 3, we're gonna dab.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh.
All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jasmine with Kelvin and Ian. Tune in next time.